Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wisdom Seeker Live podcast. Thanks for joining us for another weekly episode. Look forward to having time together to visit and get to know my new friend, Dr. Favour. My apologies, and have some interesting discussion with him and learn more about what he is doing these days. And while we're getting ready for him to join, just want to remind you to please let us know where you're joining from, and also be ready to share some thoughts and excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties here. So anyway, be sure to let us know where you're joining from and ask questions. And just as a reminder that we have, how we look at wisdom on Wisdom Seeker Live. We look at wisdom as a journey starting with knowledge, but fortunately we don't stop there. We actually keep going and go on to gain understanding and then move into wisdom and that understanding. Then we move from there into a bigger picture view of things, and with that, the big key is that we see things from a bigger picture and outside of ourselves. And hang on just a moment. Sorry, again, some technical difficulties this morning. Okay, so we move from knowledge and understanding into wisdom and seeing things from a much bigger picture. And then the other aspect of that is that we begin to, if we're of a spiritual mindset, that our goal is to see things through God's eyes. So welcome, Dr. Jasmine and Suzette. Noah, glad to have you from China. Ed Mario from Brazil, glad to have you all this morning. And let me see if, let's see here, Dr. Favour is ready to go. Let's see, I believe he is. So this is a new friend of mine, and Dr. Favour AYODELE, and we are serving on a board of the International Institute of Influencers. And so I'll let him introduce himself a little more. So welcome aboard, Dr. Favour. How are you today?
Fantastic. I'm fine, my dear friend. You're looking great.
Thank you.
You are hearing me.
Well, tell our audience a little bit about yourself, if you would, please.
Oh, well, thank you once again. My name is Favour AYODELE, popularly known as the Carpenter. Yes, I'm the founder of African Intellectual Resource Organization, ERO, then the Carpenter Foundation, also the Carpenter Consult. I'm currently running for the third position in Nigeria, president in 2023. So I'm glad to tell the world that it is high time, we change the narrative. It is high time we bring to a right perspective what the world, really needs, especially Nigeria and Africa. So, and myself and my wonderful friend here, my host today. We serve as a board of directors in International Institute of Influencers, you know, led by a very powerful woman in the name of Dr. Sharma. She has been a very incredible woman, influencing global phenomena across the world. So I'm happy to be here. And that's just a short about me for now. And I know that a lot of people will want to know more, but because of time, I'm here. Just when you go on social media, Favour AYODELE, you will read more. And on LinkedIn, Favour AYODELE too. I'm all everywhere. Thank you so much for having me today. Thank you.
Well, very glad to have you, Dr. Favour, and appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, because I suspect in your endeavor to run for the president of Nigeria that your schedule has quite a lot of demands on it. And then throw in regular life and other pieces. There's a lot there going on, I'm sure. So, our program is about wisdom, seeking wisdom. And I know from our conversations that you have had a journey of learning some wisdom. Can you share a little bit about you personally and some of the wisdom that you have gained over time, especially with some of the different endeavors that you're involved in?
Yeah, thank you once again, my friend. We were talking about wisdom. Wisdom is a person, is personified with God. And there's nothing anybody can do without wisdom. You can't be a successful human being. You can never be a successful human being if wisdom is not in place. So over time, I wouldn't want to say that it has been my own wisdom, because human being, if we actually want to display our wisdom, is as foolish as dung. Because most times we think we are smart. Most times we think that, oh, I can do this, I can add 1 + 1 together is going to be 2. But it's not always like that. So basically what I'm trying to say is that God has been the Alpha and Omega of our comprehension. God is the one that holds the wisdom. You can't do anything away from God. So if I say you can't do anything away from wisdom, I'm actually talking about God himself. He's the author, the publisher, the brusher, whatever you can call it, a very beautiful name you can call it, that is God for you. So, but I will say this, that in my journey, I discovered that working with elderly people, it's also one of the things that has helped me. In fact, in my own caliber of individuals that I have around me, I've never worked with my mate. I'm talking about my age, mate, my category in life. I've been working with people with wisdom, people that display not just wisdom, I mean excellent wisdom. And that has helped me to grow, and has helped me also for every form of maturity that I've, attained in life. So, my friend, wisdom is something that we need to convert in all areas with all due diligence. We need to convert wisdom, because it's the pathway to anything you want to become. You want to prosper, you want to influence life, you want to have name, or you want to set a legacy, you want to do things of the other. When we are talking about wisdom, please, we are not talking about the smartness of the world. We are not talking about the cutting corner of the world. We are not talking about the calculation, or the political calculation, or the world economic calculation, or the influence kind of calculation. Probably, oh, I have a friend in Japan. That friend will be able to give me this. I'll be able to get this from him or her. I have a friend in Jamaica. All sort of. That is not the kind of wisdom. So there is a part in the scripture that says, the path of the just shineth brighter and brighter unto the perfect day. So I believe this is a Christianly program as well. And it is not only Christianly, but rather things that we broaden our mindset that will actually give us the full orientation of who we are, what we are, how we are, and what we must deploy as individuals. Because no matter how we fake it, no matter how we say, how we brand it and we say, oh, this and that, or no matter how we cover it, there is still the wisdom of God that surpasses man's wisdom.
Mm.
And we should not forget that it is God that bestows excellent wisdom.
Mm.
If you look at the scripture, we have Daniel as an example of excellent wisdom. And the Bible says that the spirit of wisdom was upon him.
Mm-hmm.
So if you must survive, if you must prosper, if you must start living, not just existing, you have to have the wisdom of God. And what do I mean by existing and living? Everybody on the surface of the earth, we are here, we are just, relating our individual, we're just doing one thing or the other. But have we actually asked ourselves why we are, on this earth? That is your purpose. So it is the wisdom of God that will give you a design pattern of who you are, that is identity, and what you are meant to do, that is your assignment on earth, your purpose. So in a couple of years that I've been growing up, God has helped me so far. Thus far to associate people like you. You are a man of wisdom. And so I'm not surprised that you are doing this program for the world to the extent that the perspective of life must be adhered to through the perspective of God. So you are a very powerful, experienced teacher of wisdom, that people must also key into your program. So it's an honor for me to be here today. And I will employ my listeners, my viewers across the globe, people that are watching us to take your program as a very powerful, important tool for them to experience daily growth. So if we must also grow and glow, we need wisdom. We need wisdom, my brother. And especially in the political terrain, there's no successful human being if you don't know how to do things at the right time, how to do the right thing this time around at the right time. So it is the right thing at the right time that separates you from people that do things wrong time at the wrong.
Dr. Favour, we've lost your sound. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, now we got you back. Very good. Technology is a great thing when it works the way we want it to. And while you're working on that, just want to welcome Zaid. Zaid's one of our regular attenders, participants on the Wisdom Seeker.
That's good.
All right, go ahead, sir. I believe we've got your sound back.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. And technology keeps it interesting.
Yeah. So what am I trying to say specifically is that whatever we are meant to do or whatever we want to do, we must be able to get this wisdom at all costs. It is the wisdom that separates man. I was trying to talk about. There are people that have the right thing to do, but they don't do it at the right time. So, and there are people that do things at the right time, but it is not the right thing. So when you are able to do the right thing at the right time, that is wisdom par excellence. And that's the wisdom of God. Because God is not an author of confusion. So the right time is always there with the right thing, with the right information, with the right stuff, with the right connection. He places people rightly at the right time. So ability to acknowledge or to discover that this is the right thing I'm doing at the right time. Oh, wow. That is wisdom. And let me tell us, wisdom will not always appear as wisdom at first. It appears as foolish, as foolishness. So when it appears like that, people will just be wondering, okay, can it be this? Can it be that? At the end of the day, when they see the result, awesome, they know, wow, this particular person said so thing, did so thing at so time, but not all the time anyway, that it will appear as foolishness. I mean, foolishly. It won't appear foolishly all the time. Of course, it will appear, when you have the Spirit of God, it will appear the way it should appear. And you will begin to give accreditation and then all manner of things that you want to give towards that, and pile it together and call it, this is wisdom, in itself. So I know you have a question, so let me pause here, and if we have other people that may want to, please.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that, especially the concept of not just doing the right thing, but doing so at the right time. I know that is always a challenge for me. And as I walk, I really have to pray, God, is this, I know this is right for a number of reasons, but is this the right time? And I think that's one of the struggles that we have when we are, those of us that are of faith, pray for things. And we have in mind that this is going to happen in a certain time frame. And what happens sometimes is God says, no, not yet, not yet. And we have to learn the character of patience and trust to be able to wait. And even as I've seen it said, patience isn't just about waiting, it's about waiting with a good attitude. So tell us a little bit about Nigeria. I know I am, since we've met, I have started learning more about Nigeria and gaining understanding. But tell our audience more about what Nigeria is like, what it's like growing up in Nigeria, and just give us some insight into that. I want to gain some wisdom in regard to Nigeria.
Thank you so much for that question. And Nigeria is a strategic country, like I used to say, all over the world. Nigeria is the most blessed country that everyone, will love to. Everyone will love to be, because it is a separate, a distinct, spectacular nation. And from the human part of it, Nigeria, they have. I'm sorry, a lot of people are calling me.
You're a popular guy.
Sorry about that. So we are so blessed here. We are so fantastic human being, accommodative, you know, energetic, visionary individuals. When you go to separate part of the world, Nigerians are moving a lot of momentum. They are creating a lot of momentum. They are creating a lot of effect in terms of education, in terms of every form of professional, you know, oh God. Please, I need to, I just need to get
Go
this.
ahead and address that. And while you do, I would like to share with the audience a map of Africa so people can
Sorry.
understand a little bit about the geographies.
Okay. Sorry. Just give me 1 minute. I need to get this money away from here. Okay. Oh, that's fantastic. That's our geography. Geographically, we are very strategic in Africa. We are very strategic in the world, and everybody should be able to get familiar with Nigeria and Nigerians. So right now, Nigeria is on a very uh, uh, unpleasant state. Nigeria is not. We are not expecting what we should expect as a country. The leadership per se, they are not making things easy for the people of Nigeria, and that is why it needs to be. It's as a matter of urgency. That is why we need to revive everything in it. If you look at Nigeria, if you look at the place where it is geographically, you will discover that it's at the it's on the gun. I mean, a clock gun side. If you turn the map of Africa, on that other way around, you will see that Africa map is like a gun, and Nigeria is like at the
The trigger.
at the point.
Yeah.
Yes. If you turn it like this, you will discover that that is where it is. So meaning Nigeria is so strategic. We have everything. The resources we are so blessed. Everything is loaded in Nigeria, both human resources, non-human resources, they are there. And so for now, if other things that we may like to know about Nigeria, they are very, very open in the internet that we can just check our way of let me just culture. Right now we have about 520 something ethnic groups in Nigeria and 285 languages. So you can see, but majorly we are having 3 to 4 major uh, ethnic nations. We have excuse me,
That's
I'm
okay.
having, yeah,
While
we
you,
are yeah,
if you
we are
need to
having,
check on that, we'll give a shout out. We've got Eunice joining us, and Aaron and
yeah,
Lee. In fact, Dr. Favour, Lee is in the U.S. and he's actually going to be running for president here. He's one of the regulars
really.
on our show. Yeah, Lee Newton Rhodes. Um,
Oh, that's beautiful, and
and
I'll be looking forward to see. Is she going to join us now?
no, he is just one of the participants. They don't join us on camera, but you
Okay.
can offer comments, and also of our audience. I know that Eunice is a dear friend and for a long time, and she is from Africa. So glad to have Eunice because she can offer some perspective from the continent of Africa as well. So anyway, continue on, sir.
Okay. So we are basically 3 to 4 major ethnic groups. What I mean by 3 to 4, we have minority that is part of the four. We have Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba. Then we have many of other aspect, other ethnic groups. They constitute this minority. Somewhere like the northern side,
Mm-hmm.
of the country. Yeah. So, but these major three part of Nigeria, they are fantastic people, and they're the one leading every socio-political and what have you that you can mention. So we have everything here, but majorly politically we are not getting things right, and it's just burst from the leadership aspect, and that is why I'm coming up with uh, new information, the reformation of leadership, and I call it ecology of leadership. You know, and if we don't get leadership right, there's no how we can get anything right in the country.
Mm.
You know, both Nigerian and African and even the entire world. The problem of the world is lack of good leadership that can give us good governance. So, and we are talking about wisdom. So it is the wisdom that make good leaders or
Mm.
good leaders. So when we marry these two together, we've discovered that nation prospers where and when the leaders acknowledge the effect and the factor that governs the country or nation. That is wisdom.
Mm.
So God is the most principal person that settles anything that nation is going through. The world is not funny anymore, and it is because that some leaders or the leadership of the world, they are not attaching themselves with God Almighty.
Mm.
You know, they need to acknowledge the presence of God in their lives, because no matter scientific discovery, no matter what science or no matter what they are doing, if there is no collaboration with God, they will not be able to, advance in anything. And there's going to be a lot of confusion. And you agree with me that it is because of selfishness, it is because of all this self-centeredness. That is what is making the world, like
Mm.
this. But if we are able to see it and our heart is open to God and we let God have His way, it's not that we are talking religiously. We are talking the factual part of the world, what the world needs. We can detach ourselves from God and experience good governance. So coming down to Nigeria, Nigeria leadership is lacking this essence. Though
Mm.
you may call us the most religious nation in the world, that does not mean that the leaders, or we know God. We might be the most religious nation, but when the father is cut from the family,
Mm.
or when the father is cut from disconnected from the family, there's nothing the father will be producing that will relate. That is, there will not be anything relatable anymore.
Mm.
The family will be like cat and dog.
Mm.
So what am I trying to say right now is that you are talking about Nigeria, and I hear I am, and I believe that it is time for us to connect back to God. I mean, faithfully, with our heart open. Then we ask Him to take over the affair of the country, not by religious, mindset, but by
Mm.
relationship. We need to relate with God, wholeheartedly. We need to give reference to Him. We need to acknowledge His ways, His doing, His wonders. We need to acknowledge His presence. We need to let Him lead us through. He has been leading the leaders of old, and He is so much interested in what we want to do, for our lives, for the people of the country. So the resources that we have, He is the provider. Our
Mm.
brain, our intellectual property, He is the one that holds us. He is the one that, the Bible called Him Alpha and Omega,
Mm.
the beginning and the ending. So He has everything. So
Mm.
ability to now acknowledge Him is wisdom on its own. So let me stop here. I know you want to ask more questions. I am here for you, and I'm going to answer your question.
Well, I want to welcome another member, Neslie, who is one of my longtime connections on LinkedIn. Welcome, Neslie. And we've got some comments and a question that I want to post up. Aaron comments that all good leaders seek counsel, and I'm confident that you understand that as well and would echo that, because I know you seek counsel. You mentioned earlier seeking counsel from maybe some older, wiser part of your country and in other places. And then Suzette mentions that, and Suzette, by the way, is from St. Lucia, so she's part of our international audience as well, that in most places that is a major problem, lack of people leaders. And jump in if you want to comment on any of these that pop up here, Dr. Favour. And then Lee, who is the one that is running for president here, leadership is lacking because of incompetence or corruption, ? Do you see that those are a part of the lack of leadership involved in your country?
Okay, thank you so much. Let me answer the two. Let me answer that the leadership aspect of Nigeria, or the effective of leadership, can be competency and high level of compassionate power to the people.
Mm.
When you are not a man of the people, what does that actually really mean? It means that you have heart for people, because they are the one that actually put you there. So you are just there to represent their interest. So if you are doing anything contrary to their interest, it means that you are not a leader that they deserve, or that they need. So all what you need to do is to put yourself aside. So Nigeria right now, they need leaders that is relatable, leaders that understand their feelings, leaders that understand what they need, not even actually what they want. Because what you want can get lost, what you want can be deprived from you, but what you need is the most important thing in life. What do people really need? So Nigeria need a leader that will help to shape the affairs of everything, and make everybody comfortable. Because right now, there's no comfortability here in Nigeria. The land, the country is not secured. And number one job of a leader is to make sure that the life of the property, is on a well-balanced place. So that is, incompetence, like that man said, and corruption both play the role. But let me say, incompetency is when, corruption comes in when you are not competent. Because from the start, you should be able to know that I can do this. So if you know that you can, if you do what you know you cannot do, that means you are corrupt, and that is because there is no competence there. So Nigerians are looking for credible leaders, and when we are talking about credible leaders, we are talking about somebody that has everything, at least everything to a large extent, to make sure that people are comfortable in all areas. So
would it be fair to say then that, as you mentioned earlier, they're looking for someone with some wisdom?
Exactly.
We have a comment from Eunice. Again, Eunice is from Africa, and her comment, I've learned something new, says Nigeria is blessed with abundance of resources. The country is most widely known for its vast hydrocarbons wealth, and it was home to 37.1 billion barrels of proven oil reserves in 2015. I did not realize that Nigeria was an oil-rich country. That's pretty interesting. And then Aaron makes comment that I believe the next few years will bring more people to God. I definitely going to see all of us in all parts of the world challenged to really evaluate and do a lot of introspection, no doubt. And Eunice, by the way, wanted to send greetings. And I apologize. Some of the folks on live stream show up as LinkedIn user. It doesn't give their name. I haven't quite figured that out yet. So, and Aaron makes comment that leaders will build bridges from nation to nation. I think that is a key thing. And then Zaid comments that he likes, like I do, he likes to use Proverbs a lot. Righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. And Zaid also makes the comment on the importance of seeking counsel among the highest leadership as among every layperson. Let's see. Want to look and see. Um, Suzette shares, imagine my younger days more specifically as a child, the difference between right and wrong was very clear. Today, the forces have applied new meanings, undermining the fabric of goodness. Have to agree completely with you, Suzette. That's happening all over in every country, nation, and state. Um, wanted to, Dr. Favour, unless you got some comment to respond to the audience comments, I wanted to ask you another question. Do you have something you would like to respond to any of the audience comments?
Yes, I appreciate wonderful people give it very brilliant comment. I all agree with what they are saying, absolutely. And like one man said, you know, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. That's a book of Proverbs. And this is what the nations in the world don't want to submit themselves into. Uh, there's no righteousness anymore. There's nobody that is even vying or trying to make sure this form of righteousness, this godliness is there. Once they are in position, they take over everything, and it's like, oh, but we thought we knew you when you were there. We thought you were this, you were that. At the end of the day, you get there, you become something different. You become like a gloom. You become like masquerade. You are terrorizing everybody. You suddenly turn to a tyrannical uh, 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 agent of darkness. You know, a lot of things are just going on that's quite not right. And that is why somebody like me, I believe that God has positioned me to change the narrative, to make sure that God himself is in place. See, it doesn't matter how we look at it. It doesn't matter how some people, or it doesn't matter how it may sound in the hearing of people. I am for God. I am for people. Righteousness is what should be the order of the day. When we are trying to talk about the new order should be people with sane mindsets, people with righteousness, people with godliness, people with goodly attitude. You know, you can just be, you can even right from our family, because my vision is so clear that I want to make Nigeria a home. So when we are talking about home, we are talking about where the foundation of the world begins. You know, that is where it started from. That is where we should start our orientation. You know, because to every leader, there is a home, there is a family. So if we want to have a successful home, or a successful society, a successful government, then there must be a successful family. There must be a very secure, a wonderful home. So right now, our children, our young ladies, our youth, women, the fathers, they constitute this family, and they are the one that reflect the society, reflect the family. So if you don't get it right from the family angle, we will not be able to get it right from the society angle, or from the societal angle, or from the governmental angle. So we need to get it right from the base. So what am I trying to say is that leadership, or leaders are, leaders emanate from the home. So let us secure our home. Let us build righteousness from the home. Let us make sure that home is godly to a large extent. Let us respect and give values to ourselves. Let us, honor ourselves and cherish ourselves, and give a kind of platform that will accommodate everybody on a common line. So this is where it begins. This is how we can reform the future. This is how we can place and create the new future that we want. Leaders across the world must hear this. There is what I call, in my philosophical ideology on leadership, because this is what I've been on for a couple of years. There's what I call intelligent servant leadership, common sense leadership, character-centered leadership, value-centered leadership, and component and control panel leadership. These 5 philosophical of leadership is good enough for anybody that wants to lead a nation to run with. 3 of them, if you make use of 3 of these, you are going to be a successful phenomenon on the surface of the earth and lead people right. Let's just look at this together, my friend. How long does it take a man to lead successfully? How long will it, you can't stay in a position forever. Once you know that it's a temporary thing, nobody prays that you are going to die on the seat. Once you know that this is a temporary thing, maybe it takes 8 years maximum. We are not talking about the Asian countries that can take maximum of 1,000 years. That is just an hyperbolic thing. Mm-hmm. But we have some leaders in Africa, 38 years, 20 something years, they are still there. No matter the years that they spend, even they spend 1,000 years, it's still temporal. So that means it is not forever. What are the legacy that you want to put across to the world? What is going to be, after you? What are the people, what will people say about you when you leave? In fact, what are you going to see yourself? Oh, this is what I did when I was there. So this is my product. So if you want to actually have a good product, you have to make sure you manufacture it well, just like Nigerians used to say. You manufacture a very brilliant product for yourself because you're going to be part of it. So it is not about people alone. Make sure, you should know and know this for sure, that if you are trying to make the world hell, you are going to be part of that hell. If you are going to make the world brilliant, you are going to be part of that brilliancy. If you are going to make the world awesome, stable, secure, interesting, fabulous, fantastic, enjoyable, blissful, you are still going to be part of it. And let me tell you, even if you die, your children will be part of it.
Yeah.
So we should always consider the other side of the game. We should always consider the other side of the coin. It's not always the way we plan it. If you plan it rightly, you will have the right, momentum at the end of the day. So I am so conscious of what I'm doing. I'm so intentional of what I'm doing. And I believe that it is high time for Nigeria and Africa experience good leadership for once in the history. Nigeria will be 62 next year. You understand what I'm saying? And by 2023, we are going to be 63. And imagine a whole boxed ideas are still there. Whole politicians, are still there, leading a generation that are very, very vast in everything. I don't know the kind of mechanism they want to use to secure the future. Their own mechanism has expired. It's just that you want to take paracetamol, and you are using an expired paracetamol to take care of the headache. It's going to be like, no, it's not going to fix him. So, my dear friend and my listeners, it is high time to collaborate our future. Our idealistic, futuristic mechanisms, something that is going to help and salvage our continent, something that's going to help and secure the future of our children. Our women are there, they are laboring. The side of the women issue is another different ball game that the world is not even taking a look at. I want to commend the women that are out there that are doing fantastic job across the globe. I want to commend every one of you, but it is not enough. You have to be in power. You have to be in the leadership table. You have to take a responsibility as well. It doesn't matter. I know men are somehow egocentric in nature. They don't want their women to be competing with them, but this is not about competing. It's about complementing. We need to complement ourselves when it comes to leadership, when it comes to governance, when it comes to relationship. We need to complement ourselves. Nobody's competing with, anybody here. So men must understand that women are not trying to compete. They are just trying to make their voice heard. So I am for women, and I know that by my calculation, if women are given audience, they will have a lot of great things to put on the table, because to me, they are the best manager in the world. They are the best manager. They have everything. They can do many things at the same time, unlike men that is stereotype. Forgive me on that anyway. But that's the fact. You know, we are positioned, we are structured in a separate, in a spectacular way. So women are structured in a very sensitive, sensitive, spectacular way as well. We must give ourselves this balance. I call it equity in all areas, gender parity in all areas. Everything that you have to do, let's include our women, and of course, youth. If you want to secure the future, make sure you secure your youth.
Well, part of what I'm hearing in your comments and is a couple of things. One, you talk about approaching leadership of anything, and especially a country, is that leadership is not about you. It's about what you're doing in service to others. And when we make the step from knowledge and understanding and into wisdom, the very thing that occurs is we stop seeing everything strictly from our own selfish, self-centered point of view. We begin to see how our choices, whether it's just living day to day or leading a country, our choices impact others. And by having that mindfulness, that intentionality, we begin to make choices that benefit others. And sometimes, as far as my faith goes, sometimes I have not really, sometimes I'd say a majority of the time, I have to put others first, because that's the character of God. And so what I'm hearing there is that just the move from being knowledgeable and even having experience to functioning and leading from wisdom, that's the real difference maker for those leaders. So that's one concept I hear. The other that I hear, and I wholeheartedly agree, and that is moving in as a leader. The only way to truly be effective and successful is to be a servant leader. Okay. It's not what I lead and the direction I go is not about me. Okay. It's about the people that I lead, whatever, from just your family units and all the way up to a country. The principle is the same. And that is going to be a key among any leadership going forward, with everything going on in our world, that if we don't approach it from that fashion, we're going to end up in a bad spot. In fact, Eunice asked a question, and it is a good one because we see this occurring so often. It says, so many great leaders have great manifesto with good promises, but why did they end up being very bad leaders? And I'll let you address that question from your perspective, Dr. Favour.
Yeah, I love that question. That question, it's so great to my heart. They end up being a bad leader because that is who they are. You can be trained, you can go to school, you can do all manner of things and present a very brilliant manifesto. But what is the intention? What is the motive behind what they are presenting? They are presenting those manifestos in order to cajole. We use the word to just to dribble people, to just polish some things. Some are orator in speaking. They are gifted. They can analyze some certain things. But the personality, when you look at what I said concerning leadership, my ideology on leadership, you make mention of being a servant leader, but to me, I go beyond being a servant leader. You can be a servant. Hello, you can be a servant and still be stupid. And that is why I said intelligent servant leadership.
Mm.
Intelligent servant leadership, meaning you have to be intelligently positioned for people to understand and know that this is who you are. You are for them at the detriment of yourself.
Mm.
Because a leader that cannot lay down his life, his or her life, is not worthy to be called a leader.
Mm.
So it is because of who they are, not about manifesto, not the
Mm-hmm.
promise. If you are good, you are good,
Mm-hmm.
irrespective of the constitution of the land. If you are a humanitarian individual, you will be humanitarian.
Mm-hmm.
If you are humanist, you will be humanist. If you are nationalist, you will be nationalist. If you are patriot, you will be patriot. So manifesto has nothing to do with the personality of a man. And this is my perspective that is quite different from others. My sincerity, my motive. Why am I running for the office? Others ask a very brilliant answer because of what they have been taught. They have been polished, they have been galvanized, garnished rather. And then there are a lot of people, they have packaged them.
Mm.
But the person in them is different. Those manifestos, is good to have good manifestos. It's good to have. So if your manifesto now commemorate with your personality, it will make you a very strong leader in the world. That's my take.
Yeah. In fact, Zaid kind of sums it up very nicely. We have a lot of people that call themselves leaders that are actually wolves in sheep's clothing. And,
Exactly.
we've been warned about those folks in the Bible. Again, part of wisdom is a byproduct of wisdom is discernment. And what we really need to gain as individuals is the discernment to see beyond the sheep, the sheep's clothing, and to see the person behind the manifesto. And so, definitely a challenge that we face in what we do and what's going on. So you have put it very well. Let's see. Uh, Suzette makes a comment, says, Eunice, that has been a lingering question for a long time. And I've come to the conclusion that there would have been clear evidence of the nature of these leaders prior to their appointments. There's always a trail, and it is a choice. And yes, part of what we have to do is to look beyond the campaign, look beyond the manifestos to the person, indeed. And Erin shares a comment. She's echoing what you were saying, that if you can't lay down your life, then you're not going to be a leader at all. In fact, we start talking about laying down our life and thinking of others more. It's part of the very definition of love. So the reality is, just again, getting back to basic, we're told by God to love Him with our heart and our soul and our mind. And, okay, the other side and piece of that is to love others as we love ourselves. And so to be a good leader, you have to have that love as part of who you are. What you do is just not even something that you readily would even give up on. You would almost rather lose everything to maintain God's love and character as part of who we are. And I think that speaks to what you shared and the others have shared as well. And indeed, that leadership is needed remarkably in so many places. And I'm glad that you have honored the call of God on your life to be willing to lay down yourself for that. In fact, Zaid makes a comment. I thought about this earlier. You were asking, how long does it take to be a leader to lead people into change and growth and so on. And Zaid talks about study the leadership of Jesus. And the first thing that came to my mind, well, apparently 3 years is a pretty good number when it's done well. And so other thoughts, what is, where do you go from here in your quest for wisdom and leadership in Nigeria?
Oh, thank you so much, my friend. Yes, by the grace of God, or by His wisdom, we are moving forward. And like I used to say, we are winning forward. That's the statement that I coined for myself from the beginning of this race. And I believe that with God, all things are possible. And one of the things that I will not jettison at all, no matter the factor that governs political terrain of our dear country, Nigeria, God's factor is what I hold most. God's factor. A lot of people used to say that don't talk about God when you are talking about the analytical process and the rest, electionary process, some godfatherism factor here and there, the talk aspect, all manner of whatever thing that they are saying. And I used to tell them that God is the ultimate of all.
Mm.
God is the one that gives allowance. He's the one that allows people to be in power. There's nobody that is a king today that is, that elude God's minds or plan. So I am going from now, by the grace of God, to win 2023 presidential election by the grace of God, like I said. And the wisdom that I need is absolute God's wisdom.
Mm.
And that is what I am asking my viewers, my listeners all over the world to pray along with me. Nigerian political terrain is the most difficult political terrain in the world. I am very, very, very sure of that. Nigerians, cabals, they are not easy people. Like I said, it is very, very, it's so important for somebody like me, passionate, to lay my life on the line. To put my life on the line, to lay my life down. Let me put it the way it should be. And I'm enjoying it, because if you are not ready to die, then don't come to leadership. If you are not ready to die, then don't try to say you want to lead people. So as for me, I'm dead before I'm already alive. So it is not a matter of fear or whatever. I am just asking meaningful, wonderful, good people out there listening to me that it is high time Nigeria and Africa get it right. It is high time we choose the godly people. It is high time we choose leaders that have the heart for people, for God's people. If this is not about money, it's not about fame, it's not about wrestling power. No, it's about divine purpose. I am not here as an opportunist, or I'm not vying for this position as an opportunist, or I'm not here rather to also be or to take an opportunity of whatever thing that is going on. No, but I am here to fulfill a purpose. I believe that the purpose is now, and by the wisdom of God, by His presence, we will do well. And I want to assure my viewer across the globe, kindly see beyond manifesto. Kindly see beyond well-packaged individuals that are coming out for this presidency race. Kindly see beyond the branding. Kindly see beyond all those things. but see the man that is behind the voice. See the kind of spirit that is leading individuals. If that one can be done, I know it might be a little bit difficult for some majority of people, but people that know what I'm talking about should kindly adhere to what I'm saying. I'm here to fulfill purpose. I'm here to lead Nigeria away from madness. I'm here to overturn and to unturn all manner of decadence and to put Nigeria and Africa right, to make sure that we are capable enough to lead the world. We have all the resources. We have the abundant, both human resources and non-human resources, everything that you could ever think of. My administration is even going beyond oil. We are going beyond oil. The world has moved fast, in fact, very, very far than where we are right now. Nigeria, to me, is moving at a 1,000 year backward. Imagine, compared to where we're supposed to be and where we are going. So my administration is going to set 100 years working plan, economic working plan. And we are in it, and I believe we can do it. Nigerians in diaspora, they are there, they want to come back home. And that is the mission here, to make Nigeria at home. And especially when our life is secured, everything will be awesome. So this is just what I want to put across to answer your question.
Okay, very good. So we're out of time. But time flies when we're having good conversation. I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us for Wisdom Seeker Live. And audience, Dr. Favour's asked for prayer. We can all do that. Second thing I would suggest, connect with Dr. Favour on LinkedIn, other social media platforms. And then if you feel led that you want to get involved, you can reach out to Dr. Favour through the social media platforms, or you can let me know, and I can get you in touch with Dr. Favour as part of what he's doing, the purpose that he is fulfilling based on the wisdom he's been given. So thank you again, Dr. Favour, and we may have to do this another time or two down the road to hear how things are going and learn of additional wisdom that you have gained along the way. Would that be a possibility?
Thank you so much. Of course, I will always be glad to be in your show, and thank you for giving me the platform to speak. It's so honored. I'm pleased, and thanks to all our listeners and everyone that have contributed one way or the other. Thank you so much. It's an honor.
Well, everyone, have an amazing week and a blessed week, and seek and gain wisdom, especially as Dr. Favour says, the wisdom we're looking for is God's wisdom, so that we know how to walk. So thank you, everyone. Be back next Monday. Sorry about that. I'm getting ahead of myself. Next Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern, and I'll get an announcement out as to our topic for next week. So take care. See you then. Bye, everyone.